this guide has a heart attack right now, or even just falls and hits his head, there is no way we would ever find our way out of here, ever. We would panic and consume the rest of the battery on our lights, trying to trace back through the maze of rabbit holes we've came through. Without any doubt, we are all going to die. It took me a long time to properly reflect upon and digest the cave experience. It is only in years later, looking back, that I can properly define what happened to me in that cave. It was a test, an initiatory challenge I didn't even know I was taking. Much like the coming-of-age rituals in any indigenous society, I was being tested to see what I was made of. Are you worthy of being recognized as a man? Then prove it. Display to all of us that you are able to keep it together when it counts. And even though my first initiation was silent and nobody else witnessed it, I witnessed it. I saw what I was capable of. I saw what I was made of. And here I'm not speaking of the physical capabilities, no. I'm speaking of the capabilities of the mind. Do you have the mental strength, the fortitude of will to harness the power of the mind and, like an alchemist, transmute base metal into gold, fear into empowerment, panic into poise, doubt into certainty? Proving this kind of thing to yourself is what confidence is made of. You know, in our society, we speak a lot of confidence. We talk a lot about self-confidence, something you gotta have. Well, self-confidence is not something you are born with. At least I wasn't. It's something you have to develop. You develop it through proving yourself to yourself, through experiences like this one. So how did I get out of the cave? By keeping myself together. By harnessing the mind and bringing it back to the moment, and then steadily inching my way out of the wedge. Something I'm glad I did once, but probably wouldn't do again. So back above ground, I was feeling a renewed sense of enthusiasm for life. There was not a time before that when I was so happy to be alive. Yes, I felt alive after the skydive, that's for sure. But the skydive was nothing like the cave. After the skydive, I was so happy to finally feel alive. But after the cave, I wasn't just happy to feel alive. No, I was thankful to still be alive. There's a different quality there. Have you ever been to a certain type of church on a Sunday morning when it's packed full of people, singing, dancing, clapping, yelling, praying? The place is alive, electrified with the Holy Spirit. You can feel it. You can hear it. You can see it in the faces and movements of all the people. There is no doubt about it. The energy in that place is of a very high quality, a high frequency, pulsating with positivity and love. Now walk into the same church on some Wednesday afternoon when nobody is there. Feel the energy of the place then, and it will be of a totally different caliber. That although the place will still feel positive and of a high frequency, the vibrations have changed completely. It's quiet, still, calm. It feels nothing like it did Sunday morning. We call this energy the vibrations of a place, or the vibes. Oh, I had great vibes, or oh, I got bad vibes. People can emit this same type of energy. It's all energy, and the more sensitive you become to this energy, you can feel the differences. The oscillations between positive energy and negative energy, high vibes and low vibes. You can feel it. You can feel the energy in a room shift when a certain person walks in or out. It's all energy. However, in 2008, I knew none of this. So when some girls at the hostel I was staying at invited me to tour an old concentration camp called Terezin in the former Czechoslovakia, I agreed, not knowing at all what I was in for. In the morning, and as we got onto the bus, the sun was shining, we were all joking around, laughing. What's that? Tour at concentration camp? Sure! It's probably my favorite thing to make people laugh. But as we got closer to the camp, the laughter began to evaporate. Even the weather became cloudy and gray. By the time we arrived to the entrance of the camp, nobody was laughing. In fact, no one was even talking. We went around the corner to go into the camp, and that's when I saw a sight that sent chills up my spine. It was the entrance to the camp, with the infamous words inscribed above it. Arbeit macht frei. Work will set you free. For many of the prisoners there, this sign is the last thing they ever saw from the outside. Passing under the sign, I began to feel sick. Not any particular type of sickness, just an overall feeling of unease and heaviness. Like something terrible was about to happen, but you don't know what. They let us just walk around by ourselves and explore at our own pace. I began to get a feel for just how sickening the living conditions must have been. They were packed in here like animals, their humanity all but stolen from them. Further into the camp, things really turned south for me. I came to a place where I just could not go on any further, looking at an area where they would take these prisoners. Even calling them prisoners is inaccurate. They were people. They were human beings, like you and me. They would bring them here, tie their hands behind their back, make them kneel down, and execute them in this very spot. You could still see the line where the bullets had eaten away at the stone wall. Standing there, in this exact location where these horrific things happened, I felt a black cloud descend upon me like I had never felt before. As if all the laughter and joy and light had been erased from this ground forever. I could physically feel it, like a heavy weight had been placed on my chest and on my soul. How does one human being do this to another? What sickness has infected the mind of those responsible for this? Tens of thousands of people, men, women, children. I get chills and goosebumps right now even speaking about it again. My hands are sweaty and I'm breathing shallow. It's that powerful. And even though I was standing there alone, no one around, half a century had passed since these events took place. I could feel the deep scar left on the earth, like the ground had been scorched forever and nothing could ever grow there again. The land had been robbed of its life force. I stood there, propped up against the wall, and cried. Deep, painful cries. Yes, Terezin was my first experience of the power of this energy and what it can do to a place. Like the example of the church, only opposite. The vibrations of this place were of a low, truly terrible nature. My time in Europe was coming to an end. I would be returning to America soon, to my old life that was waiting for me. Yet, in so many ways, I would be returning as a different person. The experiences I'd had this past month in Europe had changed me in ways I could not yet fully appreciate or understand. But seeing and feeling history come alive, exploring all the old cities, being tested and passing my first initiatory challenge into manhood in the cave, and experiencing with my own being just how energy works, how a place can become scarred by the events that happened there decades before. All of these experiences and the lessons I've learned from them all became part of who I am. This new me that was expanding and growing in ways I had never known before. Yes, this is what my soul was hungry for.